Well, it's not the morning anymore. It is now the afternoon. I am officially out of my pajamas and I was kind of on the fence about vlogging these books that I'm about to read, but I decided, why the heck not? I am doing another library reading vlog where I try to read all of my library books in a week. So I had already borrowed The Rachel Incident by Caroline O'Donoghue from my local library, and I had planned on reading it this week. However, my local library's book club, the Gaston Book Buzz, is having their meeting on the 20th of May, and the theme this month, we're not actually doing like an actual book for the book club. We just are choosing a genre and everybody's reading something from that genre and then bringing it to either recommended or not recommended. So I was going to just like kind of fudge it and be like, oh, well, I read 1984 and Julia, so that counts. But I don't see 1984 and Julia as sci-fi. It is dystopian, but it's more speculative fiction than it is sci-fi. So I don't want to cheat. I want to actually read something sci-fi. And so I was going through, like, they have like a little shelf where they display the books that like options that you could choose for the book club, and I decided to pick up Calamity by Constance Fay. I have absolutely never heard of this book before. I looked it up. It is on Kindle Unlimited, but I went ahead and I borrowed it because I like reading the physical copy. Just, you know, for shits and giggles, why not? And this is actually a sci-fi romance, and I'm digging it, man. I'm about like 100 pages in, so I'm not very far at all, but it's fun. Like, I mean, I wouldn't say this is gonna be the next modern classic, but I'm having a good time reading it. It's like watching a like corny sci-fi rom-com. I don't know. I'm having a good time. So let's start with The Rachel Incident. Well, actually, let's start with Calamity because I'm going to read this one first because this is for the book club. So this is, I'm just going to read the short blurb. It says, "He kisses like a storm and I'm happy to drown in it." Come on, it's so much fun. Okay, anyway, space hijinks abound in this enemies to lovers romance. The captain of a ragtag mercenary ship is given an offer she can't refuse by the ruthless head of an intergalactic noble family. The only catch, she'll have to team up with his son, an upsettingly competent hardbody with his own agenda, to get her reward. She's got a ramshackle spaceship, a misfit crew, and a big problem with its sexy newest member. Doesn't it sound like so much fun? Like, I don't think it's taking itself seriously at all. I am thoroughly enjoying it 100 pages in, and I'm definitely going to finish it quickly. It's only a 305-page book, so no doubt in my mind that this is going to be a quick, fun read that I would probably recommend as a palate cleanser or just a lighthearted, fun sci-fi romp. So enjoying that, and then when I'm done reading that one, I'm going to pick up The Rachel Incident. This one is literary fiction, and I actually did read the first chapter already. I am intrigued. It is a brilliantly funny novel about friends, lovers, Ireland and chaos, and a young woman desperately trying to manage all three. Rachel is a student working at a bookstore when she meets James, and it's love at first sight. Effervescent and insistently heterosexual, James soon invites Rachel to be his roommate, and the two begin a friendship that changes the course of both their lives forever. Together they run riot through the streets of Cork City, trying to maintain a bohemian existence while the threat of the financial crash looms before them. When Rachel falls in love with her married professor, Dr. Fred Byrne, James helps her devise a reading at their local bookstore with the hope that she might seduce him afterwards, but Fred has other desires. So begins a series of secrets and compromises that intertwine the fates of James, Rachel, Fred, and Fred's glamorous, well-connected bourgeois wife. Aching with unrequited love, shot through with delicious, sparkling humor, The Rachel Incident is a triumph. So I've been really enjoying character studies, and I think that I'm going to enjoy this a lot. It has really good reviews, and I didn't pick it up through Aardvark, which I meant to, but I didn't. So we'll read it now and see what we think. So reading 2 books this week, Calamity and The Rachel Incident, and also going to try and finish Julia because I already started it. So I will take you guys along as we read our library books. Yay! And don't forget to go pick up some library books and support your local library. Okay, so kind of an update. I have been reading pacing, so I didn't take any video of it. No B-roll, sorry. But I've been reading from Calamity by Constance Fay, and I am really enjoying myself. I don't think it's a serious book. I don't think it's meant to be taken seriously. It's just kind of fun and funny, and I'm just reading it for that, and it's enjoyable. It's fun. It's doing what it needs to do. It is foremost a romance. Second most, it's a sci-fi. So it is a romance that takes place in a sci-fi setting, if we're being perfectly honest. And this one follows, what is her name? Temperance Reed. She's been banished from her, from one of the, kind of like nobility, but like lower nobility. So she's been banished from her family, and she has been spending the last, I don't know how long, working on this crew for a ship, basically like on the outskirts, kind of like mercenaries, but they also do like scouting missions and things like that. Basically just work for hire type things. And she basically gets like, she ends up in like a kind of secret relationship with the captain of her ship, and he has been two-timing her with an intern that ended up on the ship, and he ends up leaving her for the intern, and she buys the ship from him and is now the captain. Well, they get this job offer from one of the like big ruling families, and one of the conditions is that the son of the family has to go on as security for them, and from like the very minute they meet, sparks. I mean, insta-lust for sure, but it's been a slow burn. Like, I'm halfway through and nothing has happened yet. I mean, lots of innuendos and flirting and stuff like that, but as far as like actual touching and kissing and any of that hasn't happened yet. So I'm about halfway through. I think I'm going to try and get through half of the book today. That would be super fun, and then that way this will be a really quick read and I can get into the Rachel incident, which is a more serious read from what I understand. But yeah, I'm really enjoying it. I'm having a good time, and I think it's just what the doctor ordered. Yeah. I'm gonna go, it is Mother's Day, so my husband is going to watch my son while I go take a nice bath, and I'm gonna read some more in the bath. Good morning. I have already had a very productive morning. I woke up, I made myself some tea, so I am caffeinated, and I filmed my Monday video. Hopefully I will be able to get it edited and put up today because I am behind on videos and uploading and filming. So hopefully I get that done today and I actually upload on time. I've been trying really hard to upload 2 to 3 videos a week, and so far I've been really good about it, but yeah, I'm behind on videos, on filming. So anywho, I filmed a video. I planned another video to film if I have time later today or definitely tomorrow morning. And what else did I do? I had tea, filmed. Okay, I guess that's all I've done. Okay, it's fine. Last night I ended up not reading anything from Julia, and that is totally fine. Like, I was tired. I went to sleep. It happens. But I did read halfway through, like I said, in Calamity, and today I'm hoping to either finish it or get really close. So yeah, today, what do we have planned today? We've got a meeting with the First Steps lady. She does kind of activities with Alexander, and then I've got to go grocery shopping, and that's kind of all I've got planned. So maybe we'll go outside and I'll get some reading done outside, get some vitamin D. It would be lovely. So that is kind of the plan for today, and I'm going to take you along while we do it. Hi, so sorry about the background noise. My son is watching Cars. We finished our first steps meeting. He had so much fun painting with our new friend, and as we call her, because I still don't know her name. I feel really bad. She told me her name once and I cannot remember it. So we just call her our friend who comes to do activities. So he was painting with her, and then we went to Walmart. And while I was at Walmart, in those big bargain bins of books, I actually found this one called Alice by Christina Henry. And it's supposed to be like a dark, mind-bending, twisted retelling of Alice in Wonderland. Where like Alice is a mental patient or something like that, and it's horror. So I picked it up. It's short. It's less than 300 pages, so sounds like it's gonna be a really good time, and I'm gonna add it to my TBR cart because I didn't have enough books already. Well, today has been a day. I don't think I've ever talked about it. Well, I mean, I'd mentioned that my son doesn't eat, but we've kind of been going through like a really rough time with that, and there's a very good likelihood that he's going to end up on a feeding tube. So we've been dealing a lot with that today. Had to talk with the GI, and they're talking about doing an endoscopy on him, and really struggling with that, and I just didn't get any reading done. Every time I started to get something done, something else would come up, or my son was acting out or whatever. So today, no reading. Hopefully I'll get to read tonight while he's going to bed. I'll just kind of lay there and read from Julia by Sandra Newman. And yeah, that'll be the reading that I do, because reading from Calamity did not happen, which is a shame because I am enjoying it so much and I was so looking forward to reading the rest of it today. But hopefully I have better luck tomorrow. Maybe he'll nap and I'll get like a good hour in. We'll see. But yeah, I'm gonna get bath time started, and then I will see you guys in the morning. Good morning. Oh, you can like really see the ring light. I will take those off. So I am up very early, and yeah, hopefully Alexander does not wake up early, because I have a video to edit. Yesterday I was able to film my video that I normally would have posted on Monday, but I couldn't get the video to sync to my iCloud so that I could work on it on my iPad. So I'm gonna try and do that today, so that way I can upload a video on Tuesday instead of Monday. And then I'm hoping that I can read some more from Calamity, because last night I got yesterday I got no reading done. I've just been so preoccupied with my son's health, and as I think that's normal. But yeah, it just kind of has been taking up too much brain space for me to actually think about actual books. I did find out that Libby has another one of the great library reads or something. I think that's what they're called. Let me see what they're called. Hold on. Oh, I need my glasses again. You'll have to forgive the ring light. Oh, the Big Library Read. It's a global, if you don't know what the Big Library Read, it is a global ebook club. And basically on Libby, it is available for everyone. There's unlimited titles, so it's available from May 9th to the 23rd. So this This time it is, let's see, Wild New World by Dan Flores, which is a nonfiction. 1908, near Folsom, New Mexico, a cowboy discovered the remains of a herd of extinct giant bison. By examining flint points embedded in the bones, archaeologists later determined that a band of humans had killed and butchered the animals 12,450 years ago. This discovery vastly expanded America's known human history, but also revealed a long-standing danger Homo sapiens presented to the continent's evolutionary richness. Distinguished author Dan Flores' ambitious history chronicles the epoch in which humans and animals have coexisted in the wild new world of North America, a place shaped both by its own grand evolutionary forces and by momentous arrivals from Asia, Africa, and Europe. With portraits of iconic creatures such as mammoths, horses, wolves, and bison, Flores describes the evolution and historical ecology of North America like never before. So it is nonfiction, and it is basically about how humans have affected the ecology of our world, our continents, I guess I should say, less our world, and I find that really interesting. So I am going to give it a shot. It seems like it's relatively short too. It said on my Kindle that it was going to take me 4 hours to read, so hopefully that is true, and I think I'm going to make that my ebook read for this library vlog. I'm going to put Julia aside for just a minute. It's too much bleakness one after the other. This might be bleak too, honestly, but we'll see. At least it's nonfiction, change of genre, change of story. Living in the 1984 world for this long is just, no. So, yeah. Anywho, I am going to try to get to work so that way hopefully I can get this edited and I can get some reading in before, and maybe even actually get some chores in before Alexander wakes up. So I will update you. Oh, what are we doing today? So yeah, we're going to be doing, we've got story time at the library. I've got to make a quick stop at the post office and the UPS drop-off. UPS? FedEx? Something like that. And then I've got to drop off a package. And then there's a Waffle House opening in our teeny tiny town. So it's the talk of the town. And I think they're doing the soft opening today. I think that we're going to go have lunch at Waffle House and check out their soft opening and see how they handle having a toddler in their midst. So we're going to try that out. And as far as that, I don't know that there's anything else we're going to be doing. So I will take you guys along with us, definitely to Waffle House, because who doesn't like a trip to Waffle House? So I will, I'll catch you guys up in a bit. So I'm reading this book, and I thought it was going to be a standalone sci-fi romance, but there's these other characters on the ship, and I found out that there's more than one book because I was looking it up on Goodreads, and it said number 1, so that means there must be a number 2, right? And I looked it up, and it looks like one of the other characters gets a story. I'm wondering if, so there's 4 main characters on this ship. The one that we're following in this book, a medic that I believe is followed in the second book. And then we've got 2 other characters, Carol and Itzel. And they're, I don't exactly know. I'm not good with the sciencey stuff, but they do something on the ship and they're important. And they're also really, really cute characters. So I'm hoping if this book goes well and the second book goes well, that there are stories for both Carol and Itzo as well, because I want everyone to have a happy ending and they all deserve love. What a day. I have not filmed anything. Honestly, I just completely forgot to pick the camera up. I also haven't really read much of anything. I think I read a chapter. We went to Waffle House. Well, we tried to do story time, and like 5 minutes into story time, my son started running around like an insane person and saying, no, all done with stories, all done with songs, all done with stories, all done with songs. And I was like, okay, so you can either be still and do story time or we can go home. And he's like, I want to go home. So we didn't stay for story time. But we did go to Waffle House. I thought maybe he would eat a waffle, bacon. I don't know. I don't even care anymore. I just wanted to put something in his belly. So I thought that maybe it would be successful being like out at a restaurant. And he did try the waffle and the bacon, but he didn't really eat a significant amount. So, oh well, it was a loss. That's, you win some, you lose some. So we ran a couple of errands and then we came home, and we've been home. We did some homeschool activities. We watched some movies. I fell asleep on the couch, and my husband got home a little while ago and he took him. So I was listening to YouTube videos while I cleaned up in the kitchen a little bit. I emptied the dishwasher and put dishes away. That's what I did. I really should do more, but I really want to read this book, and I'm not going to get a chance to read it if I don't read it right now. So I think I'm going to go ahead and at least read a chapter or 2, and then I'll go ahead and I'll do some adulting. And yeah, because if not, I'm never going to make it through this book. I mean, I was so close. I was so close to reading it in 2 or 3 days. It's not going to happen. So that is my plan. I'm going to sit here. I'm going to read for a little bit, and then I'm probably gonna have to do adult things. Good morning. I'm gonna be as quiet as possible because my son is sleeping in my bedroom because he peed in his bedroom. I've been up since 5:30 because once that happened, I was not going back to bed. So update, I read some more from Calamity. I've got about 50 pages left to finish this book, so I'll be finishing it today. Yay! I decided to hold off on reading both Julia and Wild New World, just so that way I could read more from Calamity, because Calamity is on Kindle Unlimited. And so I went ahead and I picked it up there, and I just so that way I could make some more progress, because yesterday I got very little reading done during the day and I had a lot of time to read at night. So I'm glad that I did that, because that means that today I can finish it and I can move on to the Rachel incident. And I think I'm going to do Wild New World. I think I'm going to give Wild New World a shot. So yep, gonna do that. And as far as what else is going on, yeah, the doctor did call about Alexander's endoscopy. We talked with my cousin who is studying medicine, and he said that if we could get them to do the endoscopy and the feeding tube at the same time, that maybe we could do that. So I rescheduled them calling me on that, because I asked if that was possible, and they're like, oh, well, we're gonna have to call you back. And I'm like, okay, whatever, I don't care, as long as you don't have to put my kid under more than once. So yeah, so still waiting on that. That is taking up a lot of my brain power right now, if I'm being perfectly honest. So yeah, there's that. And I just finished editing a video, my What's Up Wednesday, and I am going to upload it, and then I'm going to get to finishing this book because it is so good. So we've had some spicy scenes. I did not find them cringy. They were good. I think she did a good job with them. I think that there's lots of action in this book, which is fun because rom-coms aren't always very action-packed. They've got plot, but it's not action plot. So this is action plot because it's sci-fi. So that is a lot of fun. I'm really enjoying it. I think that if you liked things like Fourth Wing, I think that you would enjoy this because it is action, it is sci-fi, fantasy, sci-fi romance, and the romance is definitely the main plot of the story. But it does take place in a sci-fi setting, and it's not super heavy sci-fi. So if you're looking to dip your toes into sci-fi, you like things like Fourth Wing, I think Calamity might be a good choice for you. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and get to uploading this video, and then I'm gonna go get reading. Good afternoon. We are back from our morning excursion. I did not read nearly as much as I thought I was going to read this morning, so I am not done with Calamity yet, but I will be done by the end of today. I swear it. So we did, if you didn't see, we took a little excursion to a strawberry picking farm. It was very sweet. There was a playground there, and we picked strawberries, and then we played in the playground. They had a really cool corn pit that he was obsessed with. So that was a lot of fun. I had fun too. And now we are just home. And is your eye itchy? Yeah. Let me see. Come here. Sana, sana, colita de rana, si no sana hoy, sana mañana o por la mañana, toot toot. Magic. The Magic Sana song. That is a Hispanic song about healing. And it works every time. So anyway, we will be hanging out at home for the rest of the day, and I will get my reading in then. I've got a couple of chores to do around the house, and then, yeah, I'm just going to be here reading my books, getting my library books in, and enjoying it. Good morning. Once again, I'm up at 4:30. Luckily, my husband went to work early, and so I've got the rest of the house to myself. I left my son in his room, and I've got the monitor going. I was able to finish last night's Calamity by Constance Fay, and I really enjoyed it. I'm gonna hold off on giving my final review of that book, but I wanted to share. Let me see if I can access the clippings. Hold on. There was a quote that was just like, I was not expecting such a lovely quote from such a like rom-com-y sci-fi book. And let's see, library. So she was talking about just looking in his eyes, and she said, there are universes in the gold specks of his eyes, whole worlds that I've barely begun to explore. How beautiful is that? Like, it was just gorgeous. So, new favorite quote, possibly. I don't know. We'll think about it. But I really did like that quote. And yeah, so I am going to get started today on reading The Rachel Incident by Caroline O'Donoghue. This one is about Rachel and James. They're like best friends, and they live together in Cork, and they're just running rampant around there. And then Rachel falls in love with her married professor, Fred Byrne, and James helps her devise a reading at their local bookstore with the hope that she might seduce him afterwards, but Fred has other desires. And it just sounds like a bunch of messy people doing messy people things. So I'm gonna read this one next. And yeah, today we are supposed to go hiking at a state park nearby. And besides that, I don't think there's anything else going on. I want to bake a cake. Maybe. I want to bake a cake and maybe some bread. I'm gonna do some baking today. So yeah, so hiking and baking today and reading The Rachel Incidents. We are back from our hiking trip. He slept for like 2 hours in the car. I got to read in the car from the Rachel Incident, so I'm about 50 pages in, a little bit less than 50 pages, and I'm really enjoying it so far. I think that the characters are interesting, and I think it's going to be an enjoyable book. And right now, what I am doing is I am making jam with all of the strawberries that we got yesterday at the strawberry patch. So big fun. Good morning. Last night I did not read anything. I really didn't read anything once we got home. I was busy making jam and it took up all of my time. And then at night I had such a headache that I just couldn't. Being out in the sun for that amount of time just drained me. So I fell asleep and I just woke up at like 6:40. So I got almost, I don't know, definitely 8 hours, possibly 9 hours of sleep, which is pretty impressive. Yeah, so that's where we're at. Today we've got, I'm gonna upload a video to YouTube today. I'm uploading my Florida reading vlog, and then I am going to be taking Alexander with me. We're going to the gym and we've got some errands to run. I'm trying out this new gym to see if he likes it, if I like it. It's called Crunch Fitness. I don't know. I don't like the name, but it looks like they have decent classes, and it also looks like their schedules work with mine, and they have childcare, which is the most important part. So we're going to be trying them out, and then the rest of the day is going to be dedicated to just cleaning the house and reading. So it's kind of a gloomy-ish day. It's supposed to rain, so it's kind of the perfect day to be just like inside and reading. So I will take you along with me, and I will update you on the Rachel incident soon. Hi, back from the gym, and I have not started making jam yet. Need to get started on that. But I didn't get to read any because I got caught up talking with my friends. So the gym is not going to be a place where I read any books. This is what I'm coming to realize, because I need to be very social when I'm working out. So no reading done today so far. It might be an early night for my son though, and if that's the case, then I may get to read tonight. So fingers crossed that he goes to sleep by himself on time and I get to read my book. All right, it is night. Almost dropped the phone. It is night. I am showered. The child is asleep. I didn't really get to read much but a chapter today, so hopefully he stays asleep for a good while and I can read at least to 50 pages today. I'd like to get to page 100 today. That would be a good goal. But my phone is dead, so I'm gonna put it down. I'm not gonna take video of it, and I will see you guys in the morning. Good morning. I got no reading done last night. I mean, I tried to read New Wild World or whatever the library read. It's just not for me. I have a hard time with nonfiction to begin with. Maybe if I was reading it during the day, but it puts me right to sleep. Like, I mean, immediately. I think I made it to 9:15. And I was passed out. It doesn't help that I did go to the gym, and so I was physically exhausted. But yeah, I can't read nonfiction at night. It puts me to sleep. So I think I'm going to go back to reading Julia and finishing that one and just not worry about reading a library read for my ebook. Now, today I have to make jam again because I severely overestimated how many berries I needed, and I have a lot. So I do need to actually go to the store to get more jars because I don't have enough jars. I am going to be going to the gym. We have a Zumba class, so me and my friend are going to go to the Zumba class, and I'm going to sign up for the membership because your girl's got to get fit. It's time. We're 2.5 years post-baby, and I need to feel like myself again. So gym time, and then I probably need to go to the store, get those jars, come back, make some jam, and hopefully get some reading in today. I hope that it'll be nice out, because if it's nice out, then maybe we can take Alexander outside and I can read while he's outside.
All right, workout completed, and I took a Zumba class. It was great. And afterwards, there is I don't know if you can see it in the background, there's a Second and Charles right next to the gym. Dangerous. What is with all these things that I go to with dangerous bookstores next door? So I stopped in there and they had this section where you could like build your sci-fi collection, and I got this classic, The Long Way to a Small Angry Planet by Becky Chambers. I've heard really good things about it, and I feel like it is a must read. It is about Rosemary Harper joining the crew of the Wayfarer. It's a patched up ship that's seen better days and offers her everything she could possibly want, a small, quiet spot to call home for a while, adventure in far off corners of the galaxy, and distance from her troubled past. But Rosemary gets more than she bargained for with the Wayfarer. The crew is a mismatch of species and personalities, from Sissix, the friendly reptilian pilot, to Kizzy and Jenks, the constantly sparring engineers who keep the ship running. Life on board is chaotic, but more or less peaceful, exactly what Rosemary wants, until the crew are offered the job of a lifetime, the chance to build a hyperspace tunnel to a distant planet. They'll earn enough money to live comfortably for years, if they survive the long trip through war-torn space, without endangering any of the fragile alliances that keep the galaxy peaceful. But Rosemary isn't the only person on board with secrets to hide, and the crew will soon discover that space may be vast, but spaceships are very small indeed. Sounds really good. I'm excited to read it. I've heard a lot of things about it, and it was a winner of the Hugo Award for Best Series. So apparently it's a series. I guess I will have to find out what the next book is if I like this. But yeah, I've been on a sci-fi kick lately, so I figured I would build my sci-fi library, and now we're gonna go home and make some more jam. Okay, the boy child is down for bed, hopefully for the foreseeable future. Excuse me. And I have a choice. I can keep reading The Rachel Incident, which is, incidentally, very, very good. I am very much so enjoying it. I think that Rachel is a hot mess, just like I thought she'd be. James is just as equally a hot mess. I am halfway through it, and I'm curious to see where this story is going, because it's a lot less plot. Hold on, let me turn on a light. It's a lot less plot and a lot more just like characters just doing their daily thing. But there is like an inciting incident that brings her around to telling this story. So I am curious how they got to that point, where they how they got from where they were in their 20s to where they are now. And I am curious to see how that unfolds. And yeah, so I'm stuck between continuing The Rachel Incident and getting another couple of chapters in tonight before bed, or watching Bridgerton. I think I'm going to go with Bridgerton, though. I did read 50 pages today. That is pretty much what I read on a typical day. I read 50 pages of my physical book, and then I read for about half an hour to an hour on my Kindle, whatever pages that amounts to. And I think I want to take a break before I read on my Kindle and just watch Bridgerton for a little while. I haven't watched TV in, I don't know how long. So this is very exciting for me. Very exciting stuff. Okay. Hello. So I slept awful last night. I did read from Julia, so good news, I did read some. I also watched Bridgerton, and I got through like the first 3 episodes, I think. I'm enjoying it very much so. I love Bridgerton. And yeah, so today we took Alexander with us. My husband had to get his hair cut, and then we went to Lowe's. He loves Lowe's. It's like his favorite store. They've got some cars, so you saw him playing with the cars. And then he fell asleep in the car but not for very long. So I managed to read like 3 pages before he woke up, and I am feeding him right now and trying to essentially read a little bit while he eats his peanut butter jam. So we will see how that goes. I'm trying to get through at least 50 pages a day. So if I get through 50 pages a day, I should be done with this book by Monday, which is a little later than I wanted to because I wanted to read a couple more books before the month was over, and I don't know if I'll have time to do that now, but it is what it is. I am enjoying the Rachel incident. The characters are dynamic. I find it to be funny. You want more peanut butter jam? Okay, here you go, baby.
What's that? What's that?
That's not for you. So yeah, the characters are dynamic. The writing is witty. The situations, it just kind of reminds me of like watching one of those shows about like friends in their early 20s to mid 20s living life in the city, except that this is a small town instead of a big city like New York, which I think most of the time we see that in like, you know, I'm trying to think of like Seinfeld and all of the, and Friends, and what's the other one I'm thinking about? How I Met Your Mother. They all take place in New York, which is like this big city, but this is taking place in Cork, where it's this teeny tiny town that's dying essentially. So yeah, I think it's kind of interesting. It does mention like Derry, and I know very little bit about Ireland, but I do know about Derry because I watch Derry Girls, which if you haven't, you should. And yeah, I'm kind of imagining a town pretty similar to that, honestly. And yeah, it's enjoyable. I'm really enjoying getting to know these characters. Their lives are messy as hell. Sometimes they are likable, and sometimes you're like, why are you making these choices? Are you a good person? I don't know. But it is interesting to read about, and it is like, I mean, in some ways it's like a car wreck and you can't look away. So yeah, enjoying the Rachel incident. Gonna try and read a little bit more today. Try to get through at least 50 pages, if not 100. 50 pages. Let's keep our goals realistic. So yeah, that's where we're at. Okay, so a big ball was just dropped in the story that I was not expecting, but I can kind of see where this is going now, about halfway through. So this is like the turning point of the novel. And wow, I can foresee this being very messy. I am here for it. I am ready to really dive into this. Yeah, really enjoying this a lot.
Good morning. I completely forgot about my camera yesterday and did not film at all, but I did it. I finished the Rachel incident, and I really, really enjoyed this. Let's start with the books that I finished during this vlog. So we've got Calamity by Constance Fay. This was the first book that I read. It is a sci-fi romance, heavy on the romance, lighter on the sci-fi, and it follows Temperance Reed Temper, who's been banished from her wealthy family, and she joins like this ragtag crew on a ship. She becomes their captain, and they take on this like scouting mission on this planet that is, they're hired by this really high up there family, really, really wealthy family, and the leader of the family is like, well, you have to take my son as security. And her and the son butt heads from the beginning. They have different ideas about how things are supposed to be done. She doesn't trust him, he doesn't trust her. It's a whole thing, but throughout it all, you can tell they're insanely attracted to each other. And yeah, it's action-packed. The romance is steamy. The chemistry was there. I gave this one a 4 stars because it was phenomenal. I will reread it. There's a second book coming out soon in like 2 or 3 weeks, so I will be picking that up on Kindle Unlimited if it is available, which I think it is. I really enjoyed it, would reread it. However, there's nothing deep happening here. We're not having deep thoughts. I'm not going to think about this forever and ever and ever, amen. But I really, really did enjoy it a lot. So Calamity by Constance Fay, definitely recommended if you're looking for like a palate cleanser, or you're looking to dip your toes into sci-fi, but you're mainly a romance reader. I think this one would be a great fit for you. Next up, I read The Rachel Incident by Caroline O'Donoghue. This is her debut adult novel. She is a Irish author, and it follows Rachel and James. It mostly follows Rachel on a journey in her 20s, her early 20s, where she ends up living with her best friend James, and they wreak havoc all over Cork, and she falls in love with her professor, Dr. Byrne, and they come up with a scheme to try and basically seduce him, even though he's married. And I don't want to go further than that because that would ruin the rest of the book, but that's where, like, that's the inciting incident. And after that, things get really crazy really fast. It is an exploration of Rachel's character. It is an exploration of James's character. It is an exploration of Dr. Byrne and his wife's character. It was really, really fun. I found it to be witty. I found it to be very introspective. It was a very real look at what life is like in your young adulthood, as well as at the end, you get a perspective from her in her 30s. And it's exactly how I feel looking back at my 20s. And I just really appreciated that sentiment in there. Yeah, I liked the way that it ended. I think that that it rounded out the story really well. All in all, I think it's a great debut novel. I am going to give this one 4 stars. It didn't give me that 5-star feeling. I don't think I'm going to be thinking about this forever, but I will be thinking about it for the rest of the month. And I think it's good writing. I enjoyed my time. I think it did what it was supposed to do. And yeah, I definitely recommend The Rachel Incident if you are looking to dip your toes into literary fiction. It has a heavier plot than some other literary fictions. So it is an exploration of their character, but there is an actual plot happening. So I think it's a good stepping stone into literary fiction if you're looking to get into it. And those are the books that I read for this library reading vlog. I really enjoyed my time reading them. I'm always so glad when I read a library book. I feel so accomplished. And yeah, I didn't end up reading one on my Kindle. I tried to do Wild New World, and nonfiction is really hard for me, guys. So I skipped Wild New World. I put it down, and I've just been continuing reading Julia. That's going to take me a little while. I don't know why it's taking me so long, but it is. Reading at night has been getting really difficult for me too. So that's it. That's all I've got for you. Please hit like, subscribe, comment down below if there is the last book that you read from a library. If you haven't read a library book in a while, go to your library and pick out a book. It's great. It's so much fun. And I will see you in the next video. Bye.